They said the World Cup was clean. Well, at the 2026 World Cup, Europe's own integrity watchdog just called that a lie. Not a fan theory, not a Twitter conspiracy. An official report from a body that operates under the Council of Europe's own anti-fixing treaty. 7 yellow notices, 12 controversies, $240 billion in bets, and FIFA sitting right in the middle of it. This isn't the story FIFA wanted you to remember about the summer of 2026. But this is the story that just detonated. So sit down, because the ending is worse than you think. The whistleblower is called the Group of Copenhagen. Boring name, terrifying job. They work under the Macmillan Convention, a treaty 43 countries signed to hunt match manipulation in international sport. They embed inside every major tournament. They watch odds. They watch prediction markets. They watch human behavior. And on Wednesday, they published a summary of what they saw inside the biggest World Cup in history. It reads like a horror script, and it starts with one name, Fuller and Balogun. You remember Balogun, the USMNT striker, the kid who was supposed to be the American face of the tournament. In a round of 32 against Bosnia and Herzegovina, he was shown a straight red card, a one-match ban, standard rules, standard consequence. He was supposed to miss the Belgium game. And then something happened that has never happened before in modern World Cup history. FIFA suspended his ban. Balogun played. Balogun scored. America moved on. And the President of the United States personally thanked Gianni Infantino from the White House podium. Case closed. Except it wasn't. Because on the exact same day Balogun saw that red card, July 2nd, an American prediction market called Polymarket opened a betting line. The question: will Fuller and Balogun play against Belgium? Same day, same red card, same player, nobody else. 15 other players were shown red cards during that World Cup. Not a single one had a market opened on their availability. Not one. Only Balogun. And when FIFA's disciplinary committee finally confirmed on July 5th that he was free to play, that market had already been trading for 3 days. 3 days of anonymous money flowing on a decision that had not officially been made yet. That is what a Group of Copenhagen yellow notice looks like on paper. And is only warning number 1. Problem number 2, Spain versus Cape Verde. A dead group stage game. Nobody watched it. Nobody cared. Except Polymarket. Because on that single match, the American crypto prediction platform took in $4.8 million on one market. Spain not to defeat Cape Verde. Spain, the eventual World Cup champions. Cape Verde, ranked 89th in the world. And the game ended 0-0. A draw. Nobody paid to see. $4.8 million in anonymous crypto liquidity. Betting against the tournament favorite. On a game with almost no consequence. And it hit. Every single one of those bets paid out. Coincidence? Maybe. Or, in the words of the Group of Copenhagen, a yellow notice. Problem number 3. Themba Zwane, South Africa's captain. Opening match against Mexico. 84th minute. Straight red card. A tackle that pundits at Al Jazeera and the BBC replayed and unanimously called soft at worst, yellow at best. But the referee went straight to the pocket. No VAR review. No second look. And in the 72 hours before that match, betting on a South African red card had quietly moved from an 80-1 long shot to a 12-1 favorite on Asian markets. That price movement, according to the Group of Copenhagen report, is statistically almost impossible without inside information. Yellow notice number 3. Problem number 4. Ferran Torres, Spain versus Saudi Arabia. He scores. The stadium erupts. And then the VAR booth freezes. For 3.5 minutes. 3.5 minutes to disallow a goal from a striker who would go on to score the winner in the World Cup final itself. 3.5 minutes is not a review. 3.5 minutes is a negotiation. And during those 3.5 minutes, living game betting on Ferran Torres to be the tournament top scorer swung by 17%. In real time, on multiple platforms. Yellow notice number 4. And here's where it stops being a coincidence and starts being a pattern. Because the Group of Copenhagen also flagged 15 matches that were placed under increased surveillance during the final round of the group stage. 15. Nearly a full round of games where their analysts were staring at their screens with sweaty palms. They logged 12 major on-field controversies. They monitored, for the very first time in tournament history, the American prediction markets Polymarket and Kalsher. And Kalsher, remember this name, is a paid official partner of FIFA itself. The referee's father is on the board of the casino. That is the level of conflict of interest we're talking about. Now let me tell you what FIFA said in response, because this is the part that will make you laugh, and then it will make you angry. 24 hours before the Group of Copenhagen report dropped, FIFA's own Integrity Task Force put out a statement. 3 sentences long. It said, quote, "No suspicious betting activity," unquote. No suspicious behavior. Nothing wrong. Move along. The tournament is clean. And the Council of Europe watched that statement come out, waited exactly 1 day, and then dropped 7 yellow notices, a request for FIFA's written explanation on the Balogun case, and a formal accusation that FIFA is providing, quote, "an open door to fraud," end quote. That is not a disagreement between two bodies. That is a public execution of an institution's credibility. And UEFA saw it coming. Alexander Ceferin, the president of European football, refused to attend the World Cup final. He sat that game out. The biggest football match on planet Earth, and the man who runs European football did not show up. He said publicly it was over the Balogun decision. He said it was over ticket prices. He said it was over the death of the beautiful game. But behind the scenes, sources at the Times and The Athletic are now confirming what everyone suspected. Ceferin already knew what the Group of Copenhagen was about to publish. He was told, and he decided that he would not stand in the VIP box next to Gianni Infantino while the report loaded onto printers in Strasbourg. Nightmare number 6. The FBI. Because while the Group of Copenhagen was building its file in Europe, the Federal Bureau of Investigation was quietly building its own file inside the United States. On the Argentine Football Association, $300 million. That is the figure being investigated. $300 million allegedly moved through American bank accounts controlled by AFA President Claudio Chiquitapia during the tournament window. Money laundering. Fraud. The full menu. And Argentina, remember, is the team that lost the final. The team whose players punched 3 Spanish internationals on live global television. The team whose federation is now sitting in front of United States federal investigators, while 82,000 of its own fans sign a petition demanding the final be replayed. Every single strand of this story leads back to the same office in Zurich. Nightmare number 7. The final itself. Slavko Vincic, Slovenian referee, handpicked by FIFA to officiate the biggest game of his life. Argentina 1-0 down. Extra time. Molina charges into the Spanish half. Contact in a box. Vincic waves play on. No VAR check. Play continues. Spain break upfield. Ferran Torres scores. That is the goal that won the World Cup. And when the final whistle blows, Molina walks straight up to Rodri and punches him in the chest. Then he body slams Gavi. Then he chokes Eric Garcia. Paredes joins in. The captain, Messi, watches. Does not move. Does not stop it. Just watches. Because everybody on that field in that moment knew that something had gone deeply, structurally, terminally wrong with the biggest sporting event on the planet. So where does this leave you, the fan, right now, on the 23rd of July? It leaves you with a World Cup champion whose winning goal came from a striker whose earlier goal was delayed for 3.5 unexplained minutes. It leaves you with a losing finalist whose federation is being investigated by the FBI for laundering $300 million. It leaves you with a red card decision that was reversed after a phone call from a head of state. It leaves you with prediction markets that opened betting lines on players before FIFA had even decided their punishments. It leaves you with $240 billion in global wagers. Twice as much as Qatar. Twice the temptation. And it leaves you with a Council of Europe committee saying publicly that this is what FIFA calls integrity. This is FIFA's open door to fraud. $240 billion. Let that number sit in your chest for a second. That is more than the annual GDP of Portugal. That is more than the market cap of Nike. Wagered on one football tournament. Across 4 weeks. Across 104 matches. Across 104 moments where a referee's whistle, a VAR delay, a suspended ban, a straight red, could shift millions of dollars in a single second to somebody, somewhere holding a phone. And FIFA's response to all of it was a 3-sentence statement saying that nothing suspicious happened. Nothing at all. That is not a governing body. That is a firewall. Now, the sober voices are already lining up to caution restraint. Christian Kalb, an industry expert who has consulted with the group of Copenhagen before, told The Athletic that yellow notices are not proof of manipulation. He is right. They're not proof. They are red flags planted by professional analysts trained to spot exactly this kind of irregularity. Yellow means, quote, slightly increased alert. It is 1 step above green, which is normal, 2 steps below red, which is the highest possible warning. 7 yellow notices in one tournament is not a conviction. It is a subpoena waiting to happen. And the group of Copenhagen has now formally requested a written explanation from FIFA on the Balogun case alone. FIFA has to answer, in writing, on paper, under Council of Europe treaty law. That letter, whenever it lands, will be the most important document in modern football governance. And here is the last piece that nobody is talking about. Kalsher, the American prediction market that FIFA signed as an official partner of the 2026 World Cup. FIFA signed a betting platform as an official partner of its own tournament. Read that sentence twice, because that is what the Council of Europe means when it says, quote, open door to fraud, end quote. Not a metaphor, not an exaggeration, a literal open door. Signed, sponsored, logo on the perimeter boards. The gambling company that profits from every wager on every match was a paid corporate partner of the organization that decided the outcome of those matches. In any other industry on earth, that arrangement would be illegal. In football, it was branding. So think about what you actually watched this summer. Think about the Balogun red card. Think about the Cape Verde 0-0 draw. Think about the Zwane sending off. Think about the Torres VAR delay. Think about Seferin's empty seat in the VIP box. Think about the FBI knocking on the AFA's door. Think about Molina's fist landing on Rodri's chest. Think about 82,000 Argentine fans signing a petition to replay the final. Think about the $240 billion. And then think about FIFA telling you, 3 sentences long, that everything was clean. That is not a governing body speaking to its fans. That is a suspect speaking to a courtroom before the evidence has been read out loud. The World Cup is over. The trophy has been handed out. The confetti is swept up. The stadiums are empty. But this story is not over. This story is just beginning. Because the group of Copenhagen file is now on the desks of governments across Europe. Because the FBI is still building its case in New York. Because 82,000 petition signatures do not disappear. Because the World Cup runs on trust, and the trust is now openly, publicly, catastrophically broken. And when the next FIFA Congress opens its doors in Vancouver next spring, the men in suits are going to have to answer the one question none of them ever wanted to answer out loud. Was the 2026 World Cup a football tournament, or was it a marketplace? So I'm going to leave you with 2 questions, and I want you to think hard before you answer. Question 1. After everything you have just heard, do you still believe that a single World Cup match in the summer of 2026 was decided purely by football? And question 2. If the answer to that is no, what happens to every trophy, every medal, every celebration, every tear, every heartbreak that came from those 104 matches? Let me know down below.